Taurus rising, career changes are ahead for you. Pluto has moved into your 10th house of your public recognition and status. Be prepared for change and how you were viewed and your status and your recognition. It's an exciting time with Pluto going through your 10th house. In this video, I'm covering Pluto in Aquarius. I will also cover some of the initial transits that we are encountering with Pluto in Aquarius. So stick with me in this video. I break it all down for you. Welcome, beloved souls. Welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Vivía, and this is my channel, Your Soul's Well, where I use astrology to help us navigate our shifting and exciting and sometimes turbulent world. I want to remind everybody, like the content I'm creating and you want me to create more content for you, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and remember to hit the notification bell because I am uploading regularly and I would not want you to miss an upload. Let us look at your chart to begin with. So here we see Pluto's ingress into Aquarius, its final ingress here on November 19th, 2024. Pluto is here up in your 10th house. Pluto is the planet of destruction and reconstruction. Wherever it is, it wants to pretty much destroy that area in order to reconstruct it. Keep in mind that Pluto only wants to get rid of whatever is not working. So when things are not working for our highest good, that's what Pluto wants, because Pluto ultimately wants our highest evolution. So with Pluto going into your 10th house of career, and Pluto is a powerhouse planet, the planet of power. It represents power in our own charts, where we lose power, where we gain power. It shows us our sense of empowerment as well. And when it's transiting your 10th house, expect profound changes to this house, Taurus. Your house of career and reputation is getting a renovation. So the potential here is for great success, for great visibility, and accessing a newfound power within you towards what your drive and your mission and your work in the world is. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? So Pluto deals with transformation and it deals with regeneration. And wherever it is, that's what it's transforming. And because it's here in your 10th house of career and public recognition, expect this transformation and regeneration to occur in your professional life, because that is the 10th house. So for those of you who don't necessarily have a career, perhaps you don't work, perhaps you're retired, or maybe you stay home and take care of children, this is still the house that is out in the open and visible and what people know you for. So you're still going through a transformation here. You're going through some type of transformation here that will be visible to others and still very profound. So this transit requires an authentication of self. It requires a reorientation towards the authentic self, and rather than conforming to other people's ideals or perhaps what someone else expects of you for your career path, for your professional life, for your public image, and instead relying on your own uniqueness and what that means to you to travel that path. So Pluto is the power planet, and because it's here, there's such opportunity here for growth in your profession, whatever that may be, and great success. Also great visibility because it's here at the top of your chart. I see some of you becoming famous or perhaps even infamous through this transit. The important thing about Pluto going through this house, because again, Pluto wants to take us down to our core, to really connect with what is aligned to our true selves, our soul self. Many of you will find that Pluto going through this house, you were called to more meaningful, purposeful work that truly does align to who you are and who you are transforming into. This will be about becoming radically authentic in terms of how you show yourself in the world, whether it's through your profession or how you are known in the world. It will have you stepping out of labels that others have placed on you, perhaps that you have placed on yourself, and other people's visions and ideals or expectations of you. As Pluto goes through this house, you'll find less and less need to rely on what other people expect of you and what you are internally being called to. So because of this and because of Pluto's deeply transformative work, many Taurus risings will just naturally shift careers. It will just be a natural process for many Taurus risings. Now, this is a 20-year transit, and many people switch careers in 20 years. So that doesn't seem like anything profound on that level. But just know that for you, it will be profound because you will be moving into work that, again, is more in line with your new values and the person that you are becoming. Because Aquarius deals with humanity, and this is your 10th house, many of you will be called to service humanity, and this will be new career paths for many of you. How you can better serve humanity, how you can better show up, how you can better do this work that is, again, about you stepping into a bigger role in a bigger vision of who you are in a more empowered and authentic way. So this is a newfound power for you, for many of you, stepping into it, stepping into your identity as it relates to your purpose and your life direction and your goals. And it marks a powerful period of complete renovation of this part of your life and yourself, then your identity as well. As you are reshaping your public role and public image, many of you may take on more powerful roles in society, stepping into positions of CEOs or leaders. Some of you may deal with also stepping into your own independent work. So just lots of change and lots of opportunity and lots of different ways that this can show up. What's been your experience of Pluto and Aquarius so far? Comment below for me, please. I'd love to hear it. I want to have us reflect back on this date here, November 2nd, 2024. All the dates will be up here in this corner if you want to double check that. It's important because Mars made its first opposition to Pluto. It was still in Capricorn. But then shortly after that, on January 3rd, 2025, Mars made its second opposition to Pluto, but by now Pluto's here in Aquarius and Mars is here in your 4th house. So reflect back to these two dates. Did anything happen? Was there any confrontation, especially the second one that happened just quite recently here on January 3rd, because then Pluto is here in your 10th house and Mars is in your 4th. This is very confrontational, impulsive action. And perhaps there was something that happened here that you can reflect back on, because on April 27th of this year, just 2 months away from now, Mars will make its final opposition to Pluto here in Aquarius. So when we can just take notice of transits and what is happening to us, to our experience as these transits are happening, then we can also get indications of what might happen the next time. So we're better prepared for them. So we understand the energy, the incoming energy, and we know how to better deal with conflict. This could be very much conflict. So again, reflect back on those two previous dates. So to be better prepared for anything that might happen here on this date. On January 21st of 2025, the sun came into conjunction with Pluto at 1 degree here of Aquarius. This starts off a synodic cycle for Pluto and this whole house here of your 10th house. So now this is very powerful and empowering, but it can also illuminate challenges that deal with control issues or fear or paranoia. So again, look back on this date and just keep kind of understanding where you're at here with this Pluto cycle. Was anything happening? And this is dealing with the sun that illuminates and brings vitality to wherever it is. And it's illuminating the planet Pluto here in your 10th house, again, of your goals and your purpose. So perhaps newfound energy or a new drive, but also could be maybe pointing out things that you might not have seen before, perhaps in your career place, your workplace, your place of profession, some underhandedness or things that are not that visible. Maybe the sun brought light to this. Right, on March 30th of this year, right after the spring equinox happens on March 20th, and here on March 30th, right after that, Neptune ingresses into Aries. So this 0 point Aries point is really important. It's the creation point. It's the cardinal point. When the sun gets to 0 Aries, that's the spring equinox. And it's just a point of regeneration collectively, and it's really being heralded at this time period as a complete rebirth for humanity, because so many points are coming here to this Aries point. First, the sun is there in the spring equinox, then Neptune is here. And then Saturn on May 25th will be here at this Aries point. So this is all being initiated here in your 12th house, Taurus rising. And your 12th house is about your subconscious. It's about your ancestral patterning. It's about things that are really hidden. It's an isolated house. So for you, maybe too, it could be about going abroad or going to some retreat or spending time away from society somehow. So maybe this is what's being initiated for you, but perhaps too, initiation for you around family, karmic, and ancestral patterns that need to be addressed and looked at. Then Jupiter on June 10th will ingress Cancer here in your 3rd house. So in my nodal video, I broke this down in more depth about the positive aspect that Pluto brings because it is exalted in Cancer. And here in your 3rd house, it's bringing energy and emphasis here to your 3rd house of communication and close family. Now, it's also in conjuncting here Pluto, and it brings this element of expansion by in conjunction. And in conjunction, it tends to point out patterns under the surface. So for you, maybe patterns under the surface with this connection here to Pluto may arise dealing with your family, like your siblings, particularly your cousins, maybe some really close friends. Aunties and uncles are here too, or your communication. And if it is your communication, if you have patterns, if you have things with your communication that you have to address, it may be very publicly seen or may affect your career, your profession. On July 7th of 2025, Uranus is going to ingress Gemini. So this is your 2nd house, Taurus, and your 2nd house is about money and finances and resources, how you resource yourself and how you value yourself. So this house is also going to be under reconstruction for quite a while Uranus is there, but particularly as it applies to Pluto. Uranus is in a trine to Pluto, and Uranus is also a planet that just of unexpected change and suddenness and innovation. So you might have lots of new ideas around your profession or your goals or your purpose, just helping out this Pluto that's here, but also some erraticness. And it could deal with your money too, your finances, how you resource yourself perhaps through your profession. So it changes to that. Could be more or less. It's really hard to tell without actually looking at your chart. But just understand that the 2nd house where Uranus is at is in for change, and it's connected here by trine to your 10th house. So then on September 1st of 2025, Saturn retrogrades back into Pisces here in your 11th house. And then October 22nd of 2025, Neptune will join Saturn and Pisces here, and they both stay here till February of 2026. So they're back here again in your 11th house, finishing up whatever has been started here for you in your 11th house of groups and associations and networks. Now, this is a really interesting date that I'm pointing out. It actually happens on July 18th, 2026. July 18th or 19th, depending on where you are in the world. So we have 4 planets at 4 degrees. We have Pluto at the top of your chart here at 4 degrees of Aquarius. We have Neptune here in Aries at 4 degrees of Aries. We have Uranus here at 4 degrees of Gemini, and we have Jupiter here at 4 degrees of Leo. Now, this is quite harmonious in a lot of ways. Pluto is sextiling Neptune, which in turn is sextiling Uranus, which is in turn is sextiling Jupiter. And Jupiter and Neptune are in a trine, while Neptune and Pluto are in a trine. And then not shortly after that, the moon will be at 4 degrees as well, forming some benevolent aspects and an opposition here to Neptune. But Pluto here, Jupiter here are in opposition to one another. So remember that Jupiter expands. So maybe something here is being expanded. Maybe something being shown to you that you couldn't see before about empowerment in your 10th house of profession, your very visible public house. It also involves your home and family life. So some polarity here, and perhaps being able to see things that you couldn't see before, maybe some underhandedness, or maybe it's about stepping into greater power and your own empowerment. It could be too, for some of you, greater emphasis being placed at home and needing to be more at home and having more value here in your 4th house, and things just being restructured here and not wanting as much from your 10th house, at least for this while Jupiter is here in your 4th house. So then on July 27th of 2026, the nodes shift The North Node moves from your 11th house of Pisces into your 10th house of Aquarius, where it will be with Pluto for a year and a half. Towards the end of that transit, the North Node will come into a conjunction with Pluto, again, emphasizing and bringing more energy here to Pluto and to its empowerment and its deconstruction of your 10th house. And the South Node will be in your 4th house of Leo and home. Now, there's just one more date that I wanted to point out, but I'll go back to this chart here that I used before. Throughout 2026 and 2028, Uranus and Pluto are in trine to one another. So this is really benevolent and flowing energy. These are both disruptor planets coming into contact with one another. So for some of you, it might be endings to your career that might have you on different paths on your profession. And for some of you, it might be instant downloads of information of how you to pursue in your career or how to move it forward, or changes in finances, sudden changes in finances when these come into contact. It's really difficult to see without your chart, but just know that this is an omen of immense change involving your 10th house of public recognition and profession, and your 2nd house of finances, resources, and self-value. So beloved Taurus rising, I cannot stress enough how this time period for you will be really all about connecting with your authenticity and what that means to you in a professional setting and how you want to be viewed. And because Pluto is a planet that emboldens us to take on our power, we want to make sure that it's our self-empowerment and not empowerment or control or power over others. So one of the ways you can do this is by making sure that your expression of authority is coming from that place of your own inner authenticity. It's focused on the bigger mission, the bigger goal, and it relates to everyone involved, and it's not just about your own gain. So try as much as possible to avoid abusing power or seeking personal gain from your position when it's at a cost to others. That will be important during this transit. You might find during this transit that you will encounter powerful people in positions of authority that might help you on your path, but also powerful people, because remember, Pluto is a magnetizer, and Pluto, these powerful people may want to have control over you or try to control you. And so then you will have to learn to embrace tests to your own authority and to use these situations as growth opportunities. It will be important for you to step back from domineering, manipulative, or deceitful people as they show up regarding your status or your career. And if somebody is in a position of authority that is domineering over you, this may be one of those opportune times to reevaluate your situation, your position, where you want to be in life, and what you want your focus to be. Pluto by its nature can be really overwhelming, and it's going to be important for you to keep tabs on this as it transits through your 10th house. Obviously, it's always important to prioritize our health and our balance. And one of the things is taking care for you to communicate properly the vision of your goals and your purpose and how that shows up in your public role in order for you to not get overwhelmed. The 10th house and Pluto both deal with ambition. And so when they're together, and Pluto is again about the whole death and rebirth process, you will want to look at releasing any type of outdated ambitions in favor of ones that are more supportive of the new roles you are stepping into on this empowerment process. For some of you, it will lead to pivots in career, while others may lead to a complete overhaul of your profession or how you are seen in the world. As Aquarius is such an independent sign, many of you might find that you will go on your own independent path in your profession or career. So just be aware of this. And Pluto does tend to be an isolating factor. So when it's there, Aquarius in your 10th house, there is even more energetic signature there for people with Taurus rising to be able to suddenly start things on their own, do their own thing, explore their own independent options involving their career. But just know that if there's changes before you, all of these changes are working for your highest good, for your self-empowerment, for your empowerment through your social status, and that this is a very powerful transit. It's also because it's an angular house. And so for people with Pluto on the angular house may feel more profound change and more lasting change that you can look back at and see that it was such an incredible time to shift and to grow and to become more of who you've always wanted to be as you claim your power and your voice and your authentic contribution to society through this very visible 10th house. You will want to watch for insecurities. Wherever Pluto is, it tends to bring out, again, our fears, our anxieties, and perhaps insecurities. So you're going to want to work on the insecurities, let Pluto flush them out for you, and allow yourself to see them and allow yourself to work through them so that you can walk with more authority, self-empowerment, and authenticity on your path. There may be power struggles with authority figures or colleagues or people in that very public image house. So just be prepared for that. And remember, again, stay in integrity, work ethically, and stay with and keep to your authentic path and your voice, and let the chips fall where they may. That's all that any of us can ever do, is to act with complete integrity as much as we can. The things that might help you, should you encounter this, is setting clear boundaries around what your role is and what other people's roles are. Expressing clearly and embracing your leadership role will help you. It will also just help you to really pay attention to what Pluto is showing you so you can take the best corrective steps for the rewarding and powerful life that you are stepping into. The 10th house is very much about goals, so focus on your long-term goals because Pluto is here for 20 years. It's a long transit, and you can accomplish a lot with Pluto in your 10th house of public recognition. So all in all, Taurus rising, I think this is going to be fabulous for you. Like I said, some of you may be catapulted to fame. Some of you will just rise in your career and your recognition. If you use this transit, again, it's never going to be here again in your house, in this very visible 10th house of public recognition. So use it to your advantage to really get to the core of who you are and what you want out of your work, out of your purpose. And many of you will really step into and recognize the power of influence that you have to shape our world into a better place. Okay, Taurus rising, thank you so much for being here. I want to remind you to listen to your nodal shift video. I'll link it here for you so you can see it if you haven't already watched it. So thanks so much for being here. Stay blessed, beloved Taurus, and I'll catch you on the next video.